Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today, I would like to talk about us being divine spirits but having a human experience. And we talked about in a video the other day how some things can kind of feel almost contradictory, the fact that we are all one, but at the same time we're on individual journeys, and that is a really big principle in spirituality, but it feels like a tug and pull. And I feel as though acknowledging that we are having a human experience but we are divine beings is also kind of like that tug and pull, and also something that we need to strive to find balance in our lives. Because when I was first introduced to spirituality, of course, I found it through, through a series of events, but what really attracted me initially was, of course, law of attraction. I think that that is something that really attracts a lot of people because we are seeking something in our lives. Whether we are seeking, I think for most of us, more money, love, friendship, fulfillment. We're all on a path of seeking those things. And I think that when, you're introduced to law of attraction and you're introduced to the principle that you can attract anything you want, that is exciting and it's alluring. And it's kind of like the hook, kind of like the bait, I would say. Kind of baits you in, it gets you interested, and then you get in it, and the hook is the actual principles of spirituality. Because I think what you learn to find is as your life unfolds and as you get into spirituality, you realize that life is not about creating a playhouse. It is, but it's not. So we're here to have experiences, and our souls choose to incarnate in this specific life, in this specific human experience. And what goes along with that is certain, they call it a soul's contract, certain contractual things that were meant to happen in your life, and big things. And they might be what we would judge to be, sometimes they are bad things. And I think that it can be discouraging and frustrating when you are working hard at law of attraction and then it seems to be not working. You seem to not be creating exactly what you want. And I know this from experience. I'm actually not that big into law of attraction anymore, and not that into specifically visualizing exactly what I want, and because I think that the divine is a much better creator, and my focus has come away from that because, of course I wanted to manifest unlimited money. I just wanted it, makes everything so much easier. It makes this experience so much better, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I still believe there's nothing wrong with that. However, I think we find this hard to believe, but when so many people are saying it, we have to start to believe it, is that money doesn't create happiness. Money doesn't create fulfillment. Money doesn't make you feel loved. And a lot of times when you look past, or you ask yourself why you want money, why do you want to create this wealth? What's behind that is a lot of those things. And then when you start to put together that money doesn't create those feelings come in other ways. Those feelings come from within, from when you start to seek from within as opposed to seek from without, that you kind of understand things on a different level. And I'm not saying that law of attraction isn't bad and that you shouldn't be trying to manifest money, because I think that, money is wonderful and money allows you to do so many things. But what I'm talking about is realizing that you are here to have this specific human experience. So with the circumstances that you had, with the childhood that you had, with the adult experience that you are now having, those all things are divinely perfect. And when you push and push and push and put that resistance on kind of like turning and creating a path that you weren't meant to have, or that you were meant to have in a different way. Like I feel as though I will always have the money for everything I want and need, and that I will be able to I have created a life that I feel fulfilled by, and that I feel, that I am sharing my light, and that I feel that I am evolving in this life. That your focus starts to kind of shift a little bit, and you're not putting as much focus on the law of attraction and on that money and on, those material things, because when you realize that it doesn't bring you happiness or fulfillment or love or any of those, or peace, any of those wonderful things. I'm not saying that let it go and to not create wealth and whatnot, because that will happen, but it needs to simultaneously happen with your spiritual evolvement, with your evolvement as a human being. And what I mean by that is striking that balance of knowing that we're infinite spiritual beings and we can create whatever we want, but also knowing that we were meant to have this specific incarnation. Let's go back to the money. So I would love to manifest, just a lotto win or an inheritance that, just secret inheritance that you didn't know about, that just sets you up and you never have to think about money again. But then I reflect back on those times that I was really wanting that, and I think about, if I was handed that then, how would I have handled my life? How would I have lived? Would I have been on this mission to help humanity evolve? Would I have still done that? Or would I have just led a life that was service to self and not service to others? Maybe I would have gotten bored of having nothing to do, and then, I've always been a charitable person. Maybe I would have done charity. However, I think that the service that I am doing now far surpasses any sort of charity that I could have been doing. And there is a theory that it actually comes from The Secret, comes from Rhonda Byrne, that sometimes charity is not the best way of service, because when you get really involved in charity, you are inflicting that on your energy. And we all know that it's so important to keep your vibration high. And yes, it might heighten your vibration to be of service and to serve. However, when you are deeply involved in charity and you are surrounding yourself with whatever that charity is, you are taking on that energy. And you can have as many boundaries as you want, but ultimately you are in and within that energy. And let's say you are highly involved in a charity that helps sick children. It's a wonderful thing, of course. And if you feel called to do that and to be in that, then yes, do that. But if you are just in that charity just to be of service and just to do something and that is a great cause and you just want to do something. You have to be really aware of how that's affecting your energy. And you have to be really aware of cleansing your energy and letting that go and not taking on and letting that sick energy affect your energy. Because remember, you cannot help someone get better by making yourself sick. And there is something to think about, you know, constantly surrounding yourself in that energy. So, and I feel as though like that might have been a path that I led, because like I was not at the place in my spiritual journey that I am at now. And it was interesting, I had an experience a little bit ago that really caused me to think about what I would do if money was not an issue. And that is when this work, my form of channeling, what I do through these videos, that is where that kind of became crystal clear to me. And it was very, very recent. I want to say within the past 2 months. I realized that I would do this work for free. I'm doing it for free now, obviously, because I'm at the beginning. But, you know, if I hit the lottery tomorrow and I never had to think about money again, I would still show up to do this work. However, even 3 months ago, 6 months ago, before I had this experience and before I realized exactly what I needed to be doing right now, I may not have realized that. I may have not have gotten to that point. And I believe that it is my soul's mission to do this. I believe that it is a part of my soul's contract to help humanity evolve in this way. So because I am having that human experience, and because I have free will, and because I can create my reality, I probably very well could have created unlimited wealth before I realized that journey. However, I would have not been fulfilling my soul's contract, and therefore I would have always been seeking. And, you know, maybe I would have been able to get to this point then, but maybe I wouldn't have. Maybe I would have become so clouded with other things. And that's what I'm meaning by talking about being on a soul's journey but having a human experience. There are a lot of wonderful things in this human experience that it's okay for us to experience, and it's okay for us to have. It's okay for us to have money. It's okay for us to have wonderful human experiences. However, if you're feeling like, you know, you're this divine spiritual being, why am I not creating the life that I want to live? Maybe it's because the divine knows a little bit better and knows the way to truly live your life's purpose and what you truly, the life you truly want to live. You know, you don't always get what you want, but you always get what you need. That is so, so true. Because sometimes, you know, life needs to teach you those lessons. You need to be put in that spot to grow and to evolve. And we may think it's bad or good, but remember that those things are just judgments. You know, things just are. You just are. Be. Just be. You're being. You are a being, a human being. You're here to be. So that is what I'm trying to get at. I hope this video is clear, but that it is all about, again, striking that balance between having a human experience and being a divine being having a human experience, and understanding that you can create your reality, but coming from creating from a place of ego and from a place of scarcity, from a place of not enoughness, is not the way to create, because you will just be creating more of that feeling because you are vibrating at that level, and therefore you will be attracting what is at that vibrational level. So the key to manifesting everything you want is to no longer want it. And again, it sounds contradictory, but it's true, because when you vibrate from a place of desirelessness, you no longer desire. You put out the vibration of already having, already being, already knowing that you can create anything, and you already have everything right now. Remember, time is a human construct. So if you believe that in any sort of time, at any point in life, at any dimension, at any lifetime, that you have everything that you ever wanted, you have it right now, because all that exists is right now. And you, when you start to embody that, and you really start to truly believe that, and you start to live from that place, that is when you will start to see things in the physical world. We need to create things in the unmanifested before it manifests in this 3D world. Because this 3D consciousness, this physical reality, is a dense reality. So things go from lighter energy into denser energy, not the other way around. So it must exist in the light for it to be brought into the denser energy. And it's all about striking that balance, you know, and living your life and continuing to step forward and to show up in this human life. That is why it is so important to be grounded and to connect with Mother Nature. It's grounding because we are nature on a deep level, but it is grounding for us because we are also spiritual beings that kind of want to be out in space, kind of, in theory, but we are also here to have this human experience. And this human experience, and this is a judgmental world, is hard. You know, learning is hard, evolving is hard, and evolving in this human experience is hard. So that can make your spirit kind of want, especially when you start to connect in spirituality, it can make your spirit want to go into outer space and, you know, and to just connect with the divine and be in meditation and just, you know, be in that wonderful world that we come from, that exists all around us. But we have to remember that it exists within us as humans as well. But we need to be grounded in this human experience, because that is why we're here. If we weren't meant to be grounded in this human experience, we wouldn't be here. Okay? Our souls have free will. We choose. We choose to have this human experience. That is why it is important to be grounded in this human experience. And it's also one last thing I'm going to say is there is a theory that we will continue to repeat this life kind of like Groundhog's Day until we learn the lesson, till we do what we came here to do. And it is also, again, a choice, because when we leave this life, there's a theory that when we leave it and we haven't completed what we wanted to complete it, we ask to go back again. We ask for another chance. And sometimes we're granted it and sometimes we're not. So keep that in mind when you are wanting to live a life other than your own. That we chose this life and we want this life. And we are so, so grateful for every single moment of this life. Now let's go on and let's move forward with our day, knowing that, having that in the front of our minds all day long. I want to thank you so, so much for tuning in. My name is Anne, and I hope to see you tomorrow.